Assalamualaikum, I am your host and your friend, and we are joined through our favorite channel, that is My Teacher. It is seen that the students face a lot of problems while paraphrasing or explaining poems in English. It is for this reason I started an effort, small one, just to help these students. Bunch of poems have been selected from Federal Board syllabus for teaching purpose. So what are we doing today? We are having a poem explained. Today's poem is from Common Logos Science named as The Coming of Spring. This poem has been written in context to people of North America who actually wait a lot for spring season. It is because the general weather there is frosty and nasty. So what is the first stanza of the poem? Let us read it. How do I know that spring is here? Because the world is full of cheer. The crocuses and daffodils peep out from all the window sills. So this is our first paragraph, and now we move on to the explanation. The first stanza is the poet's question to himself that if spring is here, he is in a condition of disbelief because of a long, hard-wearing wait in frosty winter. He sees here and there and gathers signs and symptoms of atmosphere constituting various items and then answers the same question. So what is he answering? He says that because the world is full of cheer, the flowers, which are an enormous sign of spring, are blooming, named as crocuses and daffodils, can be seen popping out from window panes. Actually, these are signs that prompt me that spring has finally arrived. After a long time, a frosty, heart-wrenched, and nasty one. These conditions put an end to a season where there was no happiness and sadness for all around poet. In the next para, the poet enlists. So what is the next para? The next para is the grass is getting soft and green. The garden makes a pretty scene. Forsythia bushes all unfold and show their blooms of fairy gold. Now we move on to the explanation of the para 2. In the para 2, the poet enlists the various signs that constitutes the spring season. He says, due to the blossoming and a bit foggy spring season, the grass all over has been green, lush green and soft to walk on, soothing and calming. The garden with flowers and greenery makes a scene that is good to look upon and refreshing, soothing for brain. Poet calls upon a specific flower, Forsythia, whose bushes bloom and become unfolded, giving a pleasant sight. Poet resembles it to the shining color of gold. Now what is the third stanza we move on to? The tulips of my garden wall are getting beautiful and tall. The birds are coming back to stay and serenade us every day. So this was the third stanza, and now we move on to the explanation. Poet says that the tulip, mentioning again the sign of spring of his garden, are in full shape and are becoming tall and much more beautiful and fuller. The birds, long forgotten, are coming back to the nest, harvesting the fruits of springs, and they speak loudly and chirp all the time to entertain and to add to the scenery of spring. Now we move on to the last stanza. Actually, the last two stanzas. The world is full of joy and cheer. That is how I know that spring is here. In the last two stanzas, the poet finally admits, because of the sign and symptoms of the flowers, birds, greenery, and pleasant mood that it creates, that spring is finally in arms. And because of this happening, he says, now the world is full of happiness and cheer all around. Hope you guys like the. I hope that you guys like my explanation to the poem. So if you want some of your poems to be explained by me, you can simply contact me on the given links, and your poem will be explained. Or if you want to get attached with me, so wait for more poems to be explained later on. Thank you all.